NewMark Merrill Mountain States recently broke greener ground by pioneering the City of Fort Collins' first commercial deconstruction project at its Fort Collins Marketplace Shopping Center in Fort Collins, Colorado. Their deconstruction of Nate's Seafood Restaurant was a win for business, the environment, and the community. For 25 years, locally owned Nate's Seafood Restaurant was a mainstay for steak and seafood. When the owners retired in 2006, they left an outdated 5,400 square foot vacant restaurant behind. The age of the former Nate's Seafood Restaurant, existing configuration, and remodeling costs made it difficult to re-lease. Chick-fil-A agreed to ground lease the corner, which required the building to be demolished. That's when NewMark Merrill's local property manager asked if there was a greener alternative to standard demolition. NewMark Merrill Mountain States discovered deconstruction, which is the dismantlement of a building focusing on reuse, recycling, and landfill diversion. NewMark Merrill Mountain States seized the opportunity to support the environment and send less waste to the landfill. Fort Collins, whose slogan is "Where renewal is a way of life," jumped on board immediately. The deconstruction took place in 2 stages. Stage 1 focused on materials that could be reused as is. The building was soft stripped by Resource, a local nonprofit that reuses and recycles building components and materials. During the soft strip, stainless steel fixtures, windows, cabinets, light fixtures, flagstone, and other reusable material were removed. This increased the overall project cost, but since Resource is located in an enterprise zone, the donated materials generated tax benefits that offset additional labor costs. NewMark Merrill was able to reuse 7 tons of materials that would have ended up in the landfill.
Well, the fact that NewMark Merrill came to us and looked at a way to, they didn't want to throw things in the trash, and that's just great. If we had more companies doing that, they diverted, I believe, 50% on that project, which, I mean, that's huge. It's easy to scrape stuff. The fact that they came up with a plan to divert materials was great. We pulled out a bunch of stuff that came in the store and we sold it back into the community. I mean, there was a lot of people that couldn't afford some stainless steel that came out for their new upstart restaurant, and they were able to come in here and get it really cheap. And it was really nice to see people get really excited and buy into what one company did by helping us generate money and generate this landfill diversion. It was just, I don't know, it's kind of inspiring to see that you can take this new model and make something work in pretty much any community.
Stage 2 focused on recycling the remaining building materials. A large portion of the recyclable materials were in the concrete foundation. With the help of Brinkman Construction, a local contractor, the majority of the concrete foundation was recycled into road base. These efforts prevented more than half of the total volume of building materials from going to the landfill. Had a plastic vapor barrier not contaminated some of the concrete foundation, the diversion rate would have been 78%.
We partnered with NewMark Merrill. We knew that they had the environment in mind. Our success with this project definitely will help us do this in future projects. I think that we've learned a valuable lesson, and that demolition is really not the best way to go when taking down a building. And there's a lot of opportunities to really reuse existing materials in the building and recycle materials that typical contractors probably don't look at. Ultimately, I think that we've created kind of a template for other companies to do what we've done, and changing the way that buildings are demoed instead of just taking them down and taking them to the landfill. I think we've come up with another method that will still keep projects on time and in budget.
NewMark Merrill Mountain States worked closely with ClimateWise, a voluntary city program dedicated to helping local businesses help the environment. Through environmental assessments and creative solutions, ClimateWise helped NewMark Merrill develop a sustainable and creative model that worked economically and environmentally.
Demolition usually entails scraping a building, knocking it down as quickly as possible, and getting that material to the landfill. This hybrid approach slowed the process down a teeny bit because it allowed staff that were experts in reuse to come and soft strip the building, looking for material that could be reused. So adding a little bit of time to the project, but overall I think this hybrid approach shows great potential and would definitely support it being used throughout the community.
NewMark Merrill also used the deconstruction to train local firefighters. The city fire department used the restaurant as a training facility for cadets and rookie firefighters to practice cutting holes in roofs and breaking into a commercial building. They honed their skills in a safe environment instead of during an actual emergency.
It was one of those relationships where they understood what we're looking for in terms of trying to get buildings that can help us train our people better, and oftentimes we can't find those. And that to me really shows a willingness to really want to support the community, and meaning community meant we are part of the community as a fire service because we provide service to the community and our citizens. And he looked at that and he realized that that was a big value to us, and I have to thank Luke and NMC for allowing that opportunity for us because it really paid off for our firefighters.
This was NewMark Merrill Mountain State's first deconstruction, and the knowledge gain, environmental stewardship, and community benefits were far greater than anticipated. And Fort Collins is considering using the project's success as a case study to fulfill their mission of decreasing the carbon footprint.